Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Live from Spring, Texas. It's Behind the Scope LLC with Fred and Robert. We're here to bring you updates on FAA information. We'll talk a little bit about Air Force One, about Tuesday's briefing on the pilot helicopter and American Airlines accident at Reagan. We're going to also hawk some of our merchandise. We'll bring you up to speed on a new school that's opening up. But I want to thank you all, 230,000 subscribers, for subscribing to us. Please like, share, thumbs up our videos. That way there we can continue to be on the show. So once again, thank you very much. I'd like to start off by passing it off to Fred over here, who's going to bring you up to speed on some information.
Good morning. Good morning. The FAA has opened up a new school in Sacramento, California, which will help increase the student graduates coming through. They plan on, or attempting to plan on getting 28 new controllers certified by 2008.
28,000? I mean 2,800?
2,800.
There we go.
What did I say, 1,000?
No,
Anyway,
you said 28.
that's a little more. But by 2028, and you have to understand that the training runs any place from 3 to 5 years to get a student through and fully qualified. And for every class you put through, your success rate is probably 50 to 60%. And that's at a good day. So if anybody is still planning on wanting to do this great job and this great career, you might look at possibly getting in Sacramento. I believe the academy in Oklahoma City is backed up for getting students through the pipeline in their classes. A class normally takes 3 to 4 months in the initial training and testing before you get through that, and then you get assigned to a facility and you start your training through the cycle, which, like I said, can take 3 to 5 years depending on the facility and the area. So that's some good news to help get more controllers on board. President Trump has decided to decertify Bombardier corporate aircraft to fly in the United States due to the recent crash we had in Bangor, Maine. The Bombardier aircraft are built in Canada, and they're not up to U.S. requirements. A lot of them, as much as they're made in Canada, they don't have sufficient equipment for icing and snow flying or departures. And that corporate aircraft that crashed in Bangor was destined for Houston, but primary investigation feels that he iced up on takeoff. The pilots should have also been aware of the icing conditions, because it's very critical to try and get an airplane off the ground if you're in icing conditions. What else do we have?
Well, we talked last week, I was mentioning about that story in the Washington airport, Air Florida.
National. Oh, yes,
That went into the
14th Street Bridge.
That they exceeded the 30 minutes after they got de-iced, which there was no regulation for that. I think it was just an advisory, and now I believe that there's a regulation for if you get de-iced and you're still on the ground after 30 minutes, you have to go through that again. So icing is very critical. It changes the shape of the wing. You lose lift, which we all know Bernoulli's principle that provides lift under the wings, and then you stop flying. So,
unless there's a bridge in the way.
Well, all accidents end up with collision with the ground, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
gravity is effective 100% of the time.
They did come up with some findings from the midair collision at Washington National Airport last year, and I think Bob has a nice presentation on that.
Well, going through the information on the NTSB page, one of the things that came up that I noticed their recommendation, there were about 52 recommendations to the FAA on this last go-around. Last Tuesday, they had another discussion about it, but I wanted to show you what it looked like from the window of the helicopter. The view of the pilot. So this is your local control, what they could see. Is there audio going out on this, Malcolm?
Traffic displays can be seen overhead. The traffic displays can be moved to suit the needs of the staff in the tower. This animation presents a simulated view from the tower. The point of view was based on the local controller's recollection of his position. The local controller could have changed position or orientation slightly on the night of the accident. The underlying animation was produced by the Federal Aviation Administration Target Generation Facility Simulation Branch. A dark gray structural mask generated from a three-dimensional laser scan of the tower conducted by NTSB staff is overlaid on the scene. Audio recordings of air traffic control communications
the
are
visibility
synchronized.
between the helicopter and the communications with FAA at the time of the collision. So, of course, I had it up here, and now it doesn't want to show up for me. So, Bombardier overview, midair collision. So, Fred, grab this for a minute while I
All right.
this. Just throw a logo up.
Trying to put a picture or a viewing of what the pilot saw out of his cockpit coming in to National on the approach. And the pilot actually told the controller that he had the aircraft in sight when he was on a heads-up display, which really restricts what he sees outside that window. So I don't understand why he said he had the aircraft in sight when the aircraft was still considerably further out from the circular visor he could see out of that heads-up display. I don't know what he was looking at, unless it was possibly another aircraft. Again, communications between pilots and controllers in various situations. So much has to be checked, double-checked, and triple-checked, because somebody may be looking at something and it's not the right aircraft or the right target. I know there was a PSA 727 going into San Diego years ago, and there were two small VFR aircraft that were heading towards the same airport. PSA said that he had the traffic in sight, but he was looking at the wrong aircraft. And unfortunately, they did collide. So that's why communication in all these things is so redundant and essential that it's correct. We could come up with a million stories on one word being dropped, and it can lead to a disaster. Another one of those disaster situations was it was probably 30, 40 years ago in Tenerife, Canary Islands, between a KLM 747 and a Pan American 747 in dense fog. There was only one runway at that airport, so KLM taxied. He was the first aircraft to come out that morning. There were probably another 15 aircraft that had diverted in there because the island of Mallorca was shut down the night before. So they all diverted into Tenerife, and they're all sitting, the airport's so small, they were sitting on the taxiways. In the morning, the KLM one got out first. He was the furthest one out on the taxiway. And the captain wanted to get back, he wanted to get into Mallorca and then back to Amsterdam because he had some important meetings. He was one of their top captains. And he went out, started setting up for takeoff. Pan American came out. When the KLM turned to start his takeoff roll, and he asked the tower if he was cleared for takeoff. And the tower told him, "Roger, stand by. Clipper is still on the runway." The Clipper heard the Roger. When a pilot keys his mic, if another mic is keyed, it blocks out the transmissions. So the captain didn't hear the standby, he just heard the Roger. Started to put the throttles forward, and the engineer even questioned, well, wait a minute, that transmission was blocked. As the co-pilot said, how can you question? This is Captain so-and-so, our top captain. How can you question him? And he didn't stop. And in about the next 3 seconds, he had windshield full of 747. They collided on the ground, and I believe 750 people passed.
Yeah, it was about that many. And the thing is that after the accident, KLM wanted to have their top-notch pilot come in and investigate it, and it just happened to be that the top-notch pilot was already there. He was the guy in the left seat.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you what it looked like in the visibility from the Sikorsky helicopter when they used those night vision goggles. We finally got this video back up and online. So can you bring up the audio on that too?
A laser scan of an exemplar aircraft is overlaid on the scene.
And just
A
show
light gray mask depicts the mounting
that's the-
structure of
that's
the
a normal
night vision
picture out of that
goggles. Position
American
for this
instructor
animation
windshield.
presents a simulated view from the right seat
And
of
that
the
circle-
helicopter. The green tint mimics
dark
a
gray
green
structural
phosphor
mask
visual generated from a
but the
three-dimensional
actual
laser
behavior
scan
of the night
of an
vision
exemplar
goggles
aircraft
has not been
is overlaid on the scene. Crew
communications
communications transcribed
depicts
from
the
the mounting
cockpit
structure
voice
of the night vision goggles, positioned for the instructor pilot looking straight ahead. The green tint mimics a green phosphor visual effect, but the actual behavior of the night vision goggles has not been simulated. Are shown
Crew
as
communications
communications transcribed from the cockpit
Audio
voice recorder
recordings of air
are
traffic
shown
control
as text
communications
at lower left. On the helicopter frequency
Audio
are
recordings of
synchronized
air
with
traffic
the
control
animation. Communications
with
on the helicopter
corresponding
frequency
transcript
are
text
synchronized
displayed
with
in
the
the center.
animation. With
Radio
corresponding
interference
transcript
blocks
text
some
displayed
transmissions
from
from
the
the
local controller and other helicopters. Transmissions that were blocked are indicated by striking through words in the transcript. A moving map depicting the locations of PAT 25 and Flight 5342 and synchronized with the view from the radio interference blocked some transmissions from the local controller and other helicopters. Transmissions that were blocked are indicated by striking through words in the transcript.
But you don't see where the American.
A moving map depicting the locations of Pat 25 and Flight 5342 and synchronized with the view from the cockpit will be shown at lower right.
Yes, 789, 1 star, 32015, Gust 25, traffic 2 out, no delay, runway 1, clear for takeoff.
Black Jack 1, radio third, 1
Flight Jet 1, Roger for exchange for good night.
Pat 25 Memorial.
Pat 25, Roger. American 3130 Washington Tower, 1 star, 31014, Gust 25, runway 1, clear to land, traffic with may depart prior to arrival. Yes, 789, contact on Barge, good day. American 3130, slow the phone. Pat 25, traffic just south of Wilson Bridge to CRJ at 1,200 feet, circle runway 33. This separation roof. American 1630 Tower, runway 1, lot boy, traffic throughout circle runway 33, this traffic on 6 off funnel. Most 7, stand by. The shoot 5307, keep rolling out to November, ground 47, good day.
National College, good evening, Air Tier 1 with you, single medevac.
American 1630 1 star 32014, Gust 25, traffic 2 mile left base, runway 33, no delay, runway 1 clear for immediate takeoff. Muscle 7 0 request. Most of you say route 3 to zone 6. Muscle 7 approved.
National College, good evening, Air Tier 1 with you, single medevac, helicopter 1,000 feet, 29901 on the altimeter, requesting zone 6 for Fairfax.
Medevac Air Care 1, Washington Tower, National Altimeter 29090. Approved to Washington class, Robert Space 4 Land Shared at Fairfax.
29090 for Air Tier 1, copy.
Pat 25, do you have CRJ in sight? Pat 25, pass behind this CRJ.
This club has a aircraft inside Christmas separation.
This separation. American 472, Washington Tower, 1 star, 32017.
Okay. I didn't bring it back to us.
This animation presents a simulated view from the right seat
Well,
of the
as you can
CRJ.
see,
A dark gray.
looking through those night vision goggles, you have tunnel vision. So what you can see out of the cockpit window versus what you can see out of the night vision goggles, you can probably see about 20% of the entire visual picture. So you're restricted at least 80% of your regular view. I just wanted to bring that up because watching that really brought to light how much you could see when you're using those goggles. So. And I think that was a very, very good depiction of exactly what happened. It happened so quickly. When they reported the American in sight, if you've noticed on the video, the tunnel vision was here, and the American was outside of the tunnel vision. But yet they said the American was in sight. I don't know how they were able to say that they had it in sight. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to show you on that NTSB briefing. You can go onto the NTSB and you can see what the controllers were seeing, what the pilot was seeing out of the RJ, and you can see what the helicopter pilots were seeing. Very, very thorough briefing. So, what do you think, Fred?
I think we should introduce the public to the new Queen of the Sky.
Oh, you think so?
Or you want to?
Well, tell them all about it while I bring this up.
All right. Air Force One, and there are two of the aircraft, has been flying for, I believe, 40 years. And they have contracted twice with Boeing to make a replacement aircraft, and Boeing fell far short and very expensive pricing for the replacement aircraft. And I believe it was the government of the Kuwait offered a gift to the United States of a 747-8 model that wasn't being used, and they gifted it to the president for replacement Air Force One.
And here's a
There
presentation of, well,
Are we supposed to sing behind?
no,
Anyways, this
just
is
a presentation.
what the aircraft.
American
Welcome to
16
our
Charter 1
channel
star
Autodrive.
32014,
Picture the
got
moment this
25, traffic
aircraft
2 mile
comes into
elevation,
view at a modern
runway 33, no
international
delay, runway
airport.
1 for immediate takeoff.
Even among today's sleek twin-engine wide-bodies,
No kidding. Hold on a
2026
minute.
Boeing 7
I'm sorry, people. Every once in a while, in fact, most of the time we make mistakes here.
7 immediately commands attention. It is bigger, broader, and unmistakably iconic, yet it doesn't feel dated. Instead, it looks
Oh,
like a
so we
carefully evolved legend, designed to meet the realities of modern aviation while preserving the emotional weight that made the 747 famous in the first place. This version feels less like a nostalgic revival and more like a thoughtful reinvention of what a flagship long-haul airplane can be. From the outside, the design tells a story of refinement rather than radical change. The classic upper deck hump remains, but it flows more smoothly into the fuselage, reducing drag and improving airflow. Engineers focused heavily on aerodynamic efficiency, smoothing panel joints, refining the nose profile, and optimizing the tail section. The wings are longer and slightly reshaped, built with advanced composite materials that allow for higher flexibility under load. This flexibility improves lift efficiency during cruise and reduces stress during turbulence, resulting in a more stable and comfortable ride for passengers. The engines are one of the most significant upgrades. Instead of simply scaling older designs, the 2026 747 uses next-generation high-bypass turbofan engines built for efficiency, durability, and environmental performance. These engines generate immense thrust but do so with noticeably lower fuel consumption than earlier four-engine aircraft. Noise reduction is also a major improvement. Advanced nacelle designs, improved fan blade geometry, and acoustic liners significantly reduce engine noise, both inside the cabin and on the ground. For passengers, this means quieter takeoffs and a more peaceful cruising environment, even on ultra-long-haul flights. Performance-wise, this aircraft is designed to excel on long-distance routes where capacity and range matter most. The 2026 Boeing 747 is capable of flying non-stop between major global hubs that were previously challenging for large aircraft due to fuel and payload limitations. Improved fuel efficiency allows airlines to carry more passengers or cargo without sacrificing range. Takeoff performance has also been enhanced, enabling operations from airports with shorter runways or higher altitudes, expanding the aircraft's operational flexibility. Inside the cabin, the transformation is immediately noticeable. The interior feels open, modern, and thoughtfully designed around passenger comfort. Ceilings are higher, lighting is more natural, and the overall atmosphere feels less confined than older jumbo jets. Advanced LED lighting systems automatically adjust color temperature throughout the flight to help reduce jet lag, subtly shifting from warmer tones during boarding to cooler hues during cruise and back again before landing. Seating across all classes has been redesigned with ergonomics in mind. Economy class benefits from slimmer but more supportive seats, offering improved legroom and better posture support without increasing cabin density. Business and first-class cabins take full advantage of the aircraft's size, offering wider aisles.
Well, anyway, 1, 2, 3, you hear us okay, Malcolm? That was just a quick overview of what the 747 that the Air Force One is going to become when they get the new aircraft. So, what do you think about that aircraft, Fred?
I wonder if he'll give us a ride on it. I mean, I'd be honored.
Yeah, so would I.
I'd be even go in the jump seat.
Well, now, now I think it's time for a quick break for me to hawk some of our items here. So, what I'd like to show you, we have our coasters, okay? If you want, we can make you a nice set of coasters for your coffee table, and you can show that you're a supporter of Behind the Scope. We have our logo here, and at the bottom you have a QR code, so that if you hit the QR code, you'd go right to our web channel. Over here, you can get yourself a nice coffee mug, and on the back of the coffee mug, you could have a nice picture portrayed, and you can have your time and service for the FAA put on the back. You can see that the kosher cowboy here has his information and all the places that he's worked during his career. We also have these nice booklets that you can pick up that can tell you all about the history of air traffic control, and they're up to date. So don't walk, run to your webpage and order your items from us. We'd love to have you pick some up and enjoy and pass them around to your friends.
Okay. That's it for the day?
No,
No?
no, I was going to tell everybody how I got into the FAA.
Oh! From the bagel shop.
Well, after I got out of the military, actually just before I got out of the military, I had applied to the FAA. I took the air traffic controller's test a year before, and I passed it with flying colors. So my trajectory was to leave the service with my honorable discharge after my 4-year commitment, and then get picked up by the Federal Aviation Administration so that I could become an air traffic controller. And originally I wanted to work in New York, but it didn't turn out that way. When I got out of the service in 1979, I left Limestone, Maine, and I went back to the Bronx. From the Bronx, I ended up living in New Rochelle, New York. And at that time, I got a couple of jobs. My first job was working at a BMW dealership. And I went into the BMW dealership, and I hired on to be a salesman. But for some strange reason, they needed somebody to take the Cosmoline off their new BMWs that were coming in, and the individual that normally did it had quit. So they asked if I could do it. And they showed me how to do it, and I did. And I said, well, this is not what I'm getting hired for. I'm getting hired to be a salesman, because I didn't want to be a car wash person the rest of my life. So I went in 4 days in a row. 4 days in a row, they had me taking the Cosmoline off of these cars, and I just said, no, I quit. So I left the BMW place. I went and worked at Bagel Power in Scarsdale, New York. I was baking bagels because I did that in high school. And along with that, I got a job at PDQ Printing up in White Plains, New York. So here I am. I'm baking bagels on the weekends. During the week, I'm working as a pressman at PDQ Printing in White Plains, New York. And in between that, I'm driving a cab for Bluebird Cab Company in New Rochelle, New York. So 3 jobs just to stay off unemployment in New York. Fast forward, and about 30 pounds less, probably about 135 pounds now. And my uncle Vic calls me up and says, hey, get ready, because you're going to get picked up by the FAA very soon. All those jobs that I had, I told all my employers that if I ever get a call from the FAA, I would give them notice and I would leave. So I did get a call when I was at PDQ Printing. My boss, Harry Tejan, came out and he said, there's a phone call for you. And it was Dorsey White on the phone from Chicago Center, and she was asking me, when can I arrive at Chicago Center? And I said, I could be there in 2 weeks. I got to give my boss 2 weeks notice, and then I'll be there. She said, well, okay, as soon as you can get here, you can, because this was August 1st, 1981, and they needed controllers right away. So I came out, and Harry was standing there, and he says, well, what's the verdict? He said, but before you answer me, I'll double your salary before you answer that question. And I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, I told him that I would be up there in 2 weeks. I said, this is my official 2-week notice. He says, okay. Just give me 1 week notice, and you could have that week off on vacation time. So that was really nice. So that was, I came in the next day. He gave me a check for my week. I had already gotten a U-Haul the night before, loaded all my stuff up, and off to Chicago I went. I got to Chicago Center on the 5th of August from New York, and that's how my FAA career started. I worked up at Chicago Center for about 7 years, transferred to Houston Center where I did the rest of my time, and if I had to do it all over again, I would. A great career. I would definitely recommend it. I met some of the greatest people. Some of my best friends are FAA employees, and they are different than anybody you could ever imagine. We have quite the group of creative characters in the FAA. Over the years, the FAA had changed. A lot of the humor and fun had been replaced by
Restrictions.
certain restrictions, because slowly the hard shell of the air traffic controller was being removed, and we needed a softer, more friendly environment, and I don't know why. It just became more stressful. It was less stressful before that, but there you go. Fred?
A little side point. Bob got to Chicago 2 days after the controllers had gone on strike.
Yeah.
And how was it crossing picket lines then?
Oh, the picket lines were there. I didn't make any big deal about going through the picket line. I would just show my badge as I go through the gate and come back out. It was wintertime, but the sad part were the kids on the line, you know, screaming all of these obscenities at you. I didn't mind so much the folks. I understood that, but, you know, I didn't know where in the world you could get a job that paid, at the time, it was $40,000 a year for FPL. And I got hired as a GS9, so I was making, I think, a 20K when I hired in. You're in air conditioning, you're sitting down, you got coffee breaks, you got your own cafeteria, especially after working 3 jobs, maybe 120 to 125 hours a week. There's no way in heck I was going to turn down a job like that after 4 years of training in the United States Air Force for air traffic control.
But
I got checked out within a year and a day. I was FPL on the East Wing of Chicago Center, and that was quite an experience. So,
I just want to say, you couldn't get a good bagel in Chicago Center.
no, you could not get a good bagel in Chicago Center. I do miss my New York bagels still to this day. So, you have anything else, Fred?
No, next time we'll give them the high points of my trip into air traffic control.
Do we have that much time, Fred?
It gets lengthy. Yeah, once upon a time.
I'll make sure I ride roughshod over censor for you, too. So anyway, thank you all for being on the show with us. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thumbs up our videos. Tell your friends about us. We'd love to have them on board, anything aviation. And if you want us to do anything other than song, dance, and vaudeville stuff, we can accommodate you, okay? But thank you, Malcolm, for being our podcaster today. I think the audio and the video came out great, and thank you all for showing up on our channel. Until next week, y'all learn how to love one another, okay?
Don't forget to